With this journal, I'm going to go over the SPSS, and this is chapter 17 in SPSS, and it goes over T-test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the exercise on page 261, where it tells me that in the independent samples T-test, I need to compare the mean staff satisfaction scores for permanent and casual staff and see if there's a significant difference in mean satisfaction scores. So the first thing I need to do is I need to go over the 6 steps of my hypothesis testing. And just as a reminder, the six steps are to pick a test, check my assumptions. Are they random? Are they independent? What's the normality? List the hypothesis. What do I think is going to be the result? Set my decision rule. Calculate the test statistics and interpret the results. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over into our VMware. And for this one, I am using mystaffsurvey.com, and I need to create an independent t-test. So I'm going to go to analyze, and I am going to compare means and portions. And underneath that, that's my third one down, and I choose independent sample t-test. And I've already put this over here, and this goes over my test variable is my total staff satisfaction, and my grouping variable is my employee. And I've got them listed as 1 and 2. So I press OK. And then in my output window, I have the results. My permanent was my 1, and my casual was my 2 in that. So my question is does it matter as far as what's the difference between the satisfaction level between permanent and casual? Is there a big difference? So I'm going to say that there won't be much of a difference. That's my hypothesis. Now, am I checking this? Do these relate to each other? Are they independent? They are independent of each other because they are 2 different groups as far as permanent and casual. Um, Are they, what's the normality of them? Normality is fine. And are they random? Yes, they are random because I'm just pulling from what I have. So I'm going to look at these statistics here, my group statistics. I have 303 and 176, and my means are here 33.93 and 34.19. And I've got my standard deviation. So my t-test for equality of means. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look at these because I need to look at my two-sided p, look at that number. And then I need to look at these numbers here. Now, if you remember our last one, we decided that if it was below a -1, it did not have it didn't have a diff, it did not, there wasn't a big difference in the two. So I'm looking at this and I'm going from my 0.05, and this is larger than my 0.05. So knowing that and then looking over here and seeing that this is between I've got 0 in between these, I know that there's not going to be much of a difference in here. So I can use my equal variance as assumed using this one. And if this were less than 0.05, I would come down here and use my equal variances not assumed. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one up here because it fits to what we need. And we're going to look here and look at our Cohen's d and set up our ETA. So my formula for my ETA squared, I have to look at my t-value. So my t-value is -0.379. So I take that, and -0.379 times -0.379, you're going to get a positive, and it's 0.144. So using the formula of t squared over t squared plus n1, and my n1 is here, and n2 is here, and subtracting 2 from these 2 numbers. So I'm going to get this number right here, the 477. So I take the 477 on my denominator, I add it to my 0.144, and 0.144 is negative 3.79 squared. Add those together, and then I take the t squared, which is the 0.144, and divide it by the 477.14. And my answer then is 0.0003. And interpreting this, this is saying for my Cohen, this is saying that for our current example, 0.0003 is very small because 0.01 is a small effect and 0.06 is a moderate effect. So there's almost no effect between the two of them. So there's not much difference between the two of them. So my hypothesis was there wouldn't be much difference. And so this is where my data and independent samples to test was conducted to compare the mean staff satisfaction scores for permanent and casual staff. There was no significant difference in the mean scores for permanent and casual staff. The difference in the means was small at 0.0003, where 0.01 is small, which means there was a 0% chance, there was a 0.0% chance that the results were dependent upon whether they were permanent or casual. So this goes over the independent, and I hope that answers everything, but there is my presentation.